Hello, Oracles. Ooh, what a day today. Up 10% in Tesla stock. Amazing. We got an upgrade from Adam Jonas over at Morgan Stanley. We will go over those notes in a minute. And I want to give a huge thank you to everyone over on X. We hit my lucky number 4,444 followers today. Thank you guys so much for all of your support over there. So we've got some things to discuss, how we might see the stock trading over the course of the week. We had Oracle earnings coming out, which may play a little bit of a factor. We've got CPI and PPI data coming out on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll get into all of that. Enjoy this excitement. We'll get into Adam Jonas's notes in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts today, again up 10.09%, closing at 273.58, down 0.67% after hours. This is in sympathy with Oracle's earnings. We kind of figured that was going to play a role. So the focuses we had this week were, are we going to break out? Now, the video yesterday I put out right before Adam Jonas dropped his new upgrade, and that upgrade alone shot us up significantly. We were discussing yesterday about this consolidation and looking for a breakout. What was going to be the catalyst to break us out or break us down? Well, it looks like that upgrade is what broke us out. So we broke out, big gap now we have going down to 256.52 as well. So now we've got these three gaps, one up to 289, this one here down to 256, and then the one down here down to 217. So next step is are we going to continue climbing up to close this gap at 289? So of course, the factors we have that are going into this are Oracle's earnings, which don't play a major role in what happens with Tesla, but they are pretty big earnings. And while Oracle did beat EPS earnings, they did miss on revenue. That's what ended up causing them to pull down after hours. In turn, it brought down Tesla with it. Now, when you see a massive jump like this in a stock, even with Tesla, we tend to see possibly a cooling off tomorrow. So with Oracle's earnings not being a beat across the board, we may see a little bit of a sell-off tomorrow for Tesla, just to kind of, hey, we went up 10% today. It's totally okay if we cool off a little bit tomorrow. But who knows? Maybe we continue running from here. We will just have to wait and see what tomorrow brings. Now, the other thing that we have going on this week is going to be CPI data. So there might be a little bit of uncertainty tomorrow going into the CPI data. And so looking at expectations for CPI this week, the year-over-year headline number, we are forecast at 3.6%. So if you look at the trend, we have been trending back up. So is this going to be an inflation concern for the market? Perhaps maybe make them sell a little bit? Not sure. And now when we're looking at the month-over-month number, that forecast also goes up to 0.6%. Now, we do have to remember that this is not core. I will take a look at core in a moment, but we have seen oil prices going up, gas prices going up. These are things that the Fed cannot control. That is what gets factored into this number. So now when you start looking at the core, this is what the Fed can control. The forecast year over year comes down to 4.3%. That is a good sign. That is what we want to see. So balancing back out, there's a big discrepancy between the core number and the headline number. Again, 4.8% versus 3.1% last month. This coming down and getting closer to being in line with the headline number is not a bad thing. So this could be what the Fed is wanting to see. So this is the number I'm really going to be paying attention to when we get to the CPI reading on Wednesday. And when we look at the core month over month, that stays steady at 0.2%. Also a very good sign if we hold this number. So overall, the headline number, yeah, it's going back up. Could be a little reason for concern, but that's the forecast. So let's see what the actual number comes in at Wednesday. And again, if the core number comes in at the 4.3 or lower, that's going to be a very good sign. That means that what the Fed has been doing with rates is working. So whether that means that we're going to see another rate hike or not, or if the Fed's going to call and say, yes, we are going to pause, that is going to make a big difference as well. Seeing the headline number going up a little bit may cause the Fed to come out with some sort of wording saying, hey, we're not officially going to completely pause. There might be a reason for more hikes. We need to pay attention to what's going on with the oil prices because that may affect other things. Something that they might word it like that to not give the market a good green light go ahead that we are officially paused for good. So that might be what ends up happening on Wednesday. All right, and now over to the big story of the day. Sawyer Merritt posting out, breaking, Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas has increased his Tesla price target by 60% to $400 per share from $250 and upgraded his rating to overweight from equal rate. Tesla is now their top pick. Quote, we believe that Dojo can add up to $500 billion to Tesla's enterprise value, expressed through a faster adoption rate in mobility, robotaxi, and network services, SaaS. And now with Adam Jonas, I do like Adam. He is a little wishy-washy sometimes, but he is usually more bullish than bearish. And I gotta say, he is one of the first analysts. Like, there are some out there, like Gary Black does get it, but he kind of keeps it more on the Wall Street level. Pierre Farragut gets it. ARK Investments get it. Now Adam is like seeing what Dojo can do, that he's seeing what AI can do for Tesla. This is going to be huge. So the more people on Wall Street that finally get to understand what's going to happen, the more it's going to move the stock price up. And again, we saw a big AI push earlier this year. Tesla went up with it a little bit, but it wasn't as much as all of the other AI plays. This kind of here is almost like, oh, guess what? Tesla is part of that AI play. Oh, we should be pricing in some of that as well. That's kind of what we got a little bit of today. Now, another thing that helped to push the stock price up today was the strength of the dollar weakening a little bit. We've seen a very strong dollar over the last couple of weeks. It softened a little bit today. What happens when you get a strong dollar is the equity market comes down, because strong dollar means that you can get a better bang for your buck somewhere else other than equities. So that is why when the dollar gets stronger, you end up seeing equities come down. So with the dollar weakening a little bit today, that ended up pushing up all of these stocks. So Tesla, with this rating and the dollar weakening, ended up having Tesla bring up the entire market. That's how strong Tesla is now. It does bring up the entire market. It's part of the Magnificent Seven. So this is big. And so again, with other data that we have coming out this week with CPI, PPI, see how we react kind of to Oracle's earnings today when we see it happen tomorrow. We get through CPI and PPI this week. If we get good numbers, then we have to just wait till the FOMC meeting next week. That might just end up being a formality. If we get the good readings this week, FOMC meeting might give us exactly what we expect. The Fed's going to give us a pause. They're not going to raise rates. They're going to give us that spiel about, oh, we still have to pay attention data point to data point. Not sure what we're truly going to do. Some Fed members think we should raise rates again. Others think that we shouldn't. That's probably what we're going to end up getting. If that's what we get, we could have clear sailing to keep on pushing up into production and delivery numbers on October 2nd. And again, still awaiting this Cybertruck event coming out. So much positive stuff coming for Tesla. There's not a lot that is going to slow us down. Again, anything can. We're still not totally in the clear right now. A lot of people think that we're just going to keep on running, but don't really know for sure. I'm still very hesitant, but I think we have, at least in the near term, some room to run if we get some good data this week. And to go back to Adam and his wishy-washiness, again, Trader 53 comes out. Adam Jonas must have been hijacked. There is no other way to explain such a massive U-turn in opinion without any major shift in fundamentals, all within less than 3 months. His downgrade was from June 22nd. And then we've got Holmars also posting out, in Tesla's darkest moments, Adam Jonas gave them a bear case price target of just 66 cents. Now he's saying that Dojo could nearly double the enterprise value of the company. So again, like I said, I like Adam, but he is a bit wishy-washy. He kind of swings one way or the other, a little bit more extreme than most. So yes, now he's riding the high end of this, whereas before he was riding the bear end of this. We'll see if things change, and we'll see if he flips back to the bear side if something negative causes this to turn. But again, not really sure. Either way, this was an awesome catalyst to push us up today. And I will end today on some information about the Tesla Semi. I know people have asked about this. What is going on? What's the information? So S.E. Robinson Jr. posts out, news. Here are some of the day one results of the 3 Tesla Semi at the Run on Less event. Geotab and North American Council for Freight Efficiency, NACFE, are providing insights into what the Tesla Semi is capable of. Info gathered by Dave Mullaney at the Rocky Mountain Institute. Truck 1, 335 miles on a single charge over 8 hours. Day ended with 17.5% SOC left, good for a little bit of a buffer. Truck was doing highway operations, driving 65% of the time with speed predominantly at 62 miles per hour. Truck 2, 227 miles over about 6 hours. Day ended with 27% SOC, spent about half of its time idle but mostly highway speeds when driving. This truck may have been loaded more heavily as it showed a somewhat shorter range than Truck 1. Truck 3, 377 miles with SOC bottoming out at 1.6% with no buffer there. This was almost exclusively highway driving at 62 miles per hour. Per Dave, takeaway is that 350-mile truck is for real, but unknowns remain. Load weight wasn't published and weather was warm with low winds. If you want to push these things beyond 350 in real world operations, you will need opportunity charging to feel safe doing so. In future days, hopefully the data will show interesting charging events so we can infer how much time that will take. So this is good real data that is actually going on. Now don't forget that these trucks are the first iteration of these trucks that were out there, so they will make the trucks better. They're going to have better charging stations coming up. So this is a good start. So it's nice to actually get some real world information out of these trucks. So it seems like 350 miles is about the range that they are getting from these in real world scenarios. And again, the big piece about this is going to be when Tesla is looking to be shipping goods between Fremont and Austin down to Mexico when that ends up getting built, they are going to be utilizing their own semi truck. So they're going to be able to get firsthand experience on all of this driving. So once they get that information down, they'll be able to better institute charging stations, improving all the technology within the truck itself, and move on from there. So we're still at the very beginning of this, but it's nice to see these trucks hitting about 350 miles. And once Tesla hits the roads with them themselves, they're going to be cutting down on shipping costs significantly in specific areas. So overall today, extremely exciting. Again, anytime we're up 10% in Tesla stock, that's absolutely awesome. TSLY did follow suit, not up 10%, but it was up 4% on the day. So that there is going to factor into the payouts that we can see next month. So again, for those of you who are tracking TSLY, I will be updating that spreadsheet on a weekly basis, and I'm going to pin that as my post on X. So when you guys visit my profile, you can see that as the very first post on there as to what I think we're going to see with the payouts for TSLY. Otherwise, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for getting us to 4,444 followers on X. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Have a great one.